Welcome to PhoneGap Dallas. My name is Alex, and I'm going to do a presentation today on building a Android Cordova application, Android, iPhone, Windows Phone, 3 platforms, all in one. So we're going to do that from the very beginning, and I hope you can hear me. Yes. So audio is checked. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to need is a GitHub repo, GitHub repository. So we're going to go to github.com and we're going to set one up. And I'm just going to open up github.com, and we're going to go to github.com. And what we're going to do is we're going to register. We already have an account, so let's sign in. Oh, we don't have an account, so this is going to be a different account. So we're going to use, here we're going to say the app is going to be Windsurf. And Windsurf is an application for windsurfers to basically see gear on the internet. I'll show you what it is right now real fast. Windsurf.com to browse windsurfing gear. And this is my application. I actually launched it just a few days ago, but now I want to build a mobile phone app that's basically just going to show you all the gear from the site. So we're going to use an API, and we're going to pass the gear to the application. So let's do that. We're at github.com. We're going to register. Windsurf is already taken. I think Windsurf is already taken, which means we already have an account. So let's sign in, and let's see if we have it here. Nothing here, so we'll just Windsurf, and we'll try a password out. Aha, it works. Very good. So I'm going to save this to my list of passwords, so I'll remember it. And here we go. So we have an account. What we want to do is we have a WindyGap repository, and there's nothing in it yet. So let's kind of get this thing set up. The first thing that we need is to do this. We're going to add our account to an application called SourceTree. This application, SourceTree, is owned by GitHub's competitor, Bitbucket, but it works with GitHub, so I'd like to use it. It's very good. Edit, file, settings. We have to add an account. Options? Yeah, probably options. Okay, so options, authentication. Edit, and okay, that's not it. You know what? I don't think it's this. I think we have to do something else. Let's just say clone new. Okay, so we're going to say clone new, and we're going to say source path. So the path is going to be this right here, WindyGap. Okay, and actually while we're here, yeah, that's fine. So we can do that SSH or HTTPS, and the destination path is going to be workspace WindyGap. And let's make sure that exists or doesn't exist. Let's find out where the status of that. So we don't have that yet. So let's set that up. So we're going to set this in our workspace WindyGap, and we're going to hit clone. Okay, and advanced options actually. Yes. Okay, clone. Here we go. Very good. So now we have our application cloned. And to get started, what you're going to need is a PhoneGap. You're going to need to install PhoneGap. And to install PhoneGap, you just have to use npm install-g PhoneGap. So if you run this command, you're going to need, npm is actually Node's package manager. You're going to need to install that first. So Node package manager. And once you have Node Package Manager installed, then you can install PhoneGap. So, but we already have PhoneGap installed, so if I click Enter, and you'll see that it's going to try to install it again, but I already have it, so it's going to override it. And while that's going, we're going to just wait for a second and plan out how we're going to do this. In a new tab, what I'm going to do is open a new tab. This is a very good editor, console by the way. It's called Console 2. And you can download it on SourceForge. Okay, so I'm going to say cd.dir, and I'm going to say npm or ionic. So we should have an ionic create command. Okay. So you see here it's installing, there's a little indicator that it's doing something. It's very slow, but okay.
I can teach you something about in here for you guys on there, but you will know more about that.
Okay. Go back here. And 1 second. Ah, it's crashing. Okay.
So what is Ionic? Is something that shows the download, or is it?
Yes, Ionic is just like the same command that I ran, npm install -g PhoneGap. You're going to run with Ionic. I'm a little nervous now because it looks like it's crashing the whole thing. Ah, there we go. Okay, good. But it looks like it's still working. So see how it's installing? It's powered by Node, so it's installing everything with Node. So what I would do while you're here is download the node.js package. So to get that, you just go to Google and you search for Node.js.
I think I already did that.
You already have it?
I already have
Okay.
the npm installed.
Okay. Very good.
But I haven't been, well, obviously, I remember now I had to go up here and search for console.
Yep. Console 2 is pretty good. It's got tabs. It's kind of nice. It's not going to work for Mac though, so it's a Windows only app.
Right, but I got the regular Mac console.
Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I ran that, but the next command you would run is actually npm install -g Ionic. Okay. And while that's running, I'm gonna run it now anyway. While that's running, what we're gonna do is actually I'm gonna show you what the Ionic framework looks like.
Actually, not called console. What's it called on Mac?
Terminal.
Oh, that's right. Terminal.
So here's Ionic. Yes, npm install -g, npm install -g, just like I have here, Ionic. Yep, doing something. Yep, there you go. Did I ask you for something? Or is it already done? No, that's right. Yeah, that sounds.
I may not be in the right folder.
Well, you should be able to install it as sudo. You might have to say sudo npm install. Oh, sorry. It's not just that. You have to say sudo npm install -g. Okay, and then if you look at my screen again, you'll see the command is actually -g Cordova Ionic. There's two things that I have to install. I happen to have both of them. So.
Sudo npm space install -g. Sudo npm not found. Let me try it.
Forget sudo, just the npm should be fine. All right.
At least that came up before. Please try running this command as root administrator. Oh my god. I don't know how to do root. I mean, I'm the owner of this computer.
Did you type in sudo? Did that work when you did sudo npm install?
Is that TSUDO?
No, it's just SUDO. SUDO.
And is it all one
If
word?
you push up, and it'll go back in history, and then you can go back and just type in sudo.
Oh, I thought it was
Yep.
P.
There you go. Cool. All right. So SUDO. SUDO. npm install -g.
Is there a space after sudo?
Yes.
Okay, sudo.
npm install. And then just copy that. There you go. Okay, cool. So I'm waiting now. We have an audience member.
Password.
So let's enter your password. Yeah. So we have an audience member, so we're getting him set up, and a little bit slower getting started. But once we get started, it's going to be pretty fast.
Just told me about usage of the npm.
Okay. While that's going for him, you'll just watch for now. Okay. After the video, we'll sit down and we'll try to figure out what's going on. But here we go. So what we're going to do also is I'm going to download Eclipse because I have my the back end of this project, the Windsurf.com project, is all powered by Python, and I use Eclipse because it's got a great Python editor. That's the only reason. So we're going to use Eclipse, and we're going to use something else. So let's download Eclipse, and let's see if I have it. I might already have Eclipse. So Eclipse, I do have Eclipse. Very good. Open it up, and we're going to say run. Okay. And Eclipse is firing up.
Eclipse IDE for Java developers, Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers, Eclipse.
Just go with, I would go with the one for web developers if you have, or PHP. PHP is good. Okay.
I don't even know if I have. Oh, I think that's what
Okay. Okay, cool. Eclipse is fired up now. And so this is the first project. We don't have any other projects defined. Let's go and make sure we have the subversion window help install new software. Actually, we'll just cancel this for now. Help Eclipse Marketplace. We could just use that. And find SVN. By the way, this is going to be my first Ionic application. I've never done anything on Ionic, so we'll all learn together. And Eclipse, here we have Rebel SVN. Search for SVN. Subversive. Install that. And once we have this installed, I'm going to check out the project that I have in Python, because we're going to be doing some Python development today and some HTML development. The Python development is going to be for the API that we're going to build. Okay, forget that. Let's try this. Installing software. Git. Subversive. Okay. There we go. And the revision graph. We'll hit next. This is 2.0.1. Interesting. Next, I accept, finish. And hopefully it's going to ask us to do some kind of a subversion. We're going to need this subversion plugin with 2.0 if we can find it. So hopefully it's going to prompt us for that. And here we go. We will need to restart Eclipse, okay? Restarting Eclipse. Okay. Okay, while that's running, I want to start the project. So if you look at the Ionic documentation, you'll see that Ionic start my app tabs. Okay, these are the different kinds of apps that you can have. So you have side menu right here, you have tabs, and you have my app blank. I kind of like the side menu. People seem to use that a lot, so we're going to go with side menu. So we're going to type in Ionic. We're going to go back to right here. We're going to say Ionic start Windsurf. Okay, and we're going to say side menu. Side menu. I'm going to copy this into the Git, where the Git repository is. Initializing the Cordova project. There we go. All right, cool. So dir, if I go to cd Windsurf, ooh, whoops, you know what? Truth is, I really wanted to call that Windy Gap, but let's redo that. So Ionic start Windy Gap. The reason I want to call it Gap is because it's a phone gap app, essentially, side menu. So we're going to do that again. And
what is Ionic doing at this time?
Ionic is actually, it's going to be, I'll show you actually, while this is going, I'll show you what Ionic does. It makes your apps look beautiful, like this, right here, on the far right. It gives you a framework to make your app look very nice. It's like jQuery Mobile. It's a styling framework, essentially. And
but when you were running a command,
yes,
you don't do that with jQuery. You just include the library.
Yes, and this is very different. This is cool. This is the beautiful thing of Node.js. You run these cool commands like check this out. In other words, watch this. You ready? So I'm going to go to cd Windy Gap. This is the app that I started it by saying Ionic start Windy Gap, right? Now check this out. Ionic, watch this. Ionic serve, watch this. This is really cool. This is going to launch it in the browser, and you can see the app itself. So the app, it's filled with this junk data, but essentially, look at how beautiful it is. Can you imagine what it's going to look like on the phone? It's going to look very nice. So it's going to look very nice on the phone. And so now we have our first app. Playlist. So what I want to do now, and of course if you make this smaller, you'll kind of get a feel for what it looks like on the phone.
Do you ever use that?
You can even do a drag. That's pretty cool. You can drag stuff down. Okay.
What if you did Ripple?
Ripple. Oh yes, Ripple is one way to go. I just resized, really. I like to resize. Okay. So that's done. What I want to do now is I want to copy the code from this folder. So I'm going to say this, close this down, Explorer, which will fire up my Windows Explorer in that folder. And we're going to just copy everything here into Workspace Windy Gap. And we're going to paste this in. Okay. And inside of here, I'm going to say Windy Gap right here. Aha. This is cool. This is called source tree. So I can see all the files that I want to commit into the GitHub account here. So these are all the files that I want to add to our project on GitHub. So let's see what happens. I'm going to click this box, check off everything, and then I'm going to say commit message. Let's change this SAT vocab. I don't like that. Let's change our username. Tools, options. So we're going to call this code ran. So every Git commit has a username, a full name, and an email. So you want to go with something that you use for a lot of projects. So this is what I use for a lot of stuff. Code ran at Gmail. Okay. And now if I undo this and I reload this, in fact, if I close this down, close that down, and I run source tree again, what I'll do is I'll pin it, source tree. We're going to pin this to my pinned taskbar, and there it is, source tree. It's got a nice icon you can remember, and it's available for Mac OS as well. But it helps you with the whole commit process, committing to GitHub, etc. So, there's a trial. Interesting. Interesting. So you might have to pay for it. I thought it was free. So register now, free. Oh, okay. All you have to do is register. It's free. So that's cool. Not bad. Not bad at all. Checking for existing account. Okay, we can deal with this later. Close. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this, check everything off, and then we're going to commit this to the repo. We're going to say first commit, right? And then we hit commit. Push changes immediately. Let's see what happens. Commit. So now it's going to ask me for a username and password. See how it's asking me for my GitHub credentials. So we're going to log in, Windsurf, log in, and now we have our first version in the loop, hopefully. Okay, cool. So check this out. If we go to the actual project, if we go to GitHub and I reload this, I have everything there. So everything's been committed. Isn't that cool?
Mhm.
Everything's there. So, okay. All right, so we're making some progress. Inside of Eclipse, what I want to do now is I want to grab my project. So we're going to go to Window, Show View, okay, File New, or Window, File New, let's see, Other. And I want to see, do I have PyDev? I don't have PyDev yet, so let's add PyDev also and help install new software. http pydev.org/updates. Add. I think it's pydev.org, but we'll find out. Let's actually go there. pydev.org/updates. Yes. Okay. And now it's going to grab PyDev, which is our Python editor for Eclipse. So this is a nice thing to have if you're going to build APIs. So we're going to install this as well. Okay.
I can't get Eclipse around here. It says something is not compatible with blah blah blah.
Got it. Interesting. It sounds like you may need to like start using something else or figure out. It sounds like you have 2 errors for Node and Eclipse.
Aptana's working.
Aptana's working. Yeah, you know you can use Aptana. Aptana has Python built in, so. Okay. All right, so it's installing this package, and install it. You have to accept the certificates. Hit OK, and hit yes to restart Eclipse. Okay. Go back. Okay. So Eclipse is starting. Now I'm going to try to check out, if I can, check out the, let's see, Windows SVN client 2.10. Was that 2.10? Aha, Subversion.
That Subversion is Microsoft.
No, it's free. Tortoise. In fact, there's a really nice client called Tortoise SVN, and the problem is it links against Subversion 1.8.0, and we installed something. We installed Subversion 2 point something. So I'm not sure if it's going to work at all. But let's try this. File New Other, and we're going to say SVN. So you see, I have SVN here. Project from SVN. So my location, yes, this is exactly what I needed. SVN kit 1.8. And we can actually install a bunch of these just to see which one works. Hit next, I accept, finish. Okay, this is fun. Getting the project started is always a little bit more time, but we're making headway. I really enjoy doing these videos because it pushes me to get stuff moving, you know? So, you're installing software that contains unassigned content. Okay, cool. So now, let's install Tortoise SVN also, because I like this. It's a good application. It lets you commit stuff over Windows, in the Windows, and also in Mac. So, okay. Okay, that's loading, and this is loading. Okay, let's try this again. File, Bugzilla. Interesting. So we're going to say File New Other. We're going to say Subversion SVN Project from SVN. So we're going to do this, and we're going to enter a URL: http dev.windsurf.com/svn windsurf. Okay, and then my username and password, which is my name. Save authentication. Next. Looks like it's working. and we're going to check this out as a new project, PyDev project, and we're going to call this Windsurf, Python 2.7. What we want to do now is actually install something. There's so many, I'm sorry if you guys are overwhelmed, but there's so many installations. But we're going to install something else, which is called Windows or Mac Virtual End Wrapper for Python. It's a way to create little micro-environments, where your Python packages can live, your Python requirements, the prerequisites can live. So that's another thing. That's one of the last things we have to install before we can really move. So virtual, and I might actually have it, believe it or not. So let's see. Work on. Nothing. I don't have it. So virtual end wrapper Windows. So we're going to install this for Windows, and here it is. So what we have to do is say pip install, and you can run this also once you have pip for Mac if you're on Mac. We don't have pip, so we have to get pip. So Windows pip binary, unofficial Windows binaries. I love this site. This is great. This gives us all of the binaries that we need for Python, pretty much. Pip right here. Pip 1. We're going to use a Python 2.7, Windows 32. Python 2.7. We're going to install this really fast. This is a nice Windows installer, so we don't have to run any commands. We just have to download this package. Run. Python power. Okay. Do I not have Python installed? Okay. So we may have to install one more thing. Let's see. This is a fresh laptop, so you're getting full experience. Yes, we have to install Python, so let's do that. So let's install Python. So we're going to go to Python, download, and Python download for Windows. Python, we want to get 2.78, which is the latest in 2.7 class. 2.7 is a little bit more used than 3-point-something Python. So we're going to go Windows x86 installer and 15 megs. The good news is we're on a fast Wi-Fi connection here, so we're going to get this thing done fast, hopefully. Okay. Okay, it's done. Give it a second. Okay. Okay, cool. So now we're going to run the Python package, install it for everybody. Python 2.7. Add Python to the path. Okay.
That's just you two tonight?
Yeah. All right. So installing, and after this, we'll install pip, and then we'll install the virtual end wrapper, and then we are good. We have all the requirements to make this thing work. Okay, finish. All right, that's done, and we'll go back and we'll hit next, back, next, cancel. Pip. Try this again. Pip. There it is. Run. Next. Okay, finish. And now I can run the pip command in a new console window. Pip install. I don't have pip. Okay, give me a second. So we have to set our path in C, Python 2.7 scripts, and there's pip. Pip. Okay, so we have to add this to our path. So computer properties. So much to do. Can you imagine? Developers really have a lot to do, a lot to know and a lot to advance in all the time. Advanced system settings, and you have to know it for different platforms. So you have to work hard. You got to keep up with the latest. So path, we're going to go down to path, edit, and here we're going to add scripts folder to our path. Hit OK. The funny thing is I've done it so many times. It's kind of, it's like memorized almost. So, okay, pip. Now I open up a new tab here and I say pip, and we have pip. Very good. What is this? No module named package resources. That's interesting. Let's look that up. We're almost there. Edit copy. And we'll paste this into here. Pip Python import error, no module. So, okay. Edit, paste. Try again. No module, no. You said, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Following answer. Alright, fine. Fine. Let's do this. Curl, edit, paste, Python. Aha. There we go. Okay. Okay, now pip. Yes, now it works. Okay, cool. Pip install. We're going to install virtual env wrapper Windows. Okay, and that is going to be our Windows package for virtual environments. And it's a pretty cool thing because now, once we have that installed, we can say, watch this, work on, it works. So make virtual env with all of our system site packages, which includes packages to access the database. So with that, we can say make virtual env system site packages, and then we can say Windsurf, okay? And that's going to install that. And now we're in the Windsurf environment. Do you see this?
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning, so we know that we're inside this environment. Any package that I install with pip is a Python package manager, just like npm is a node package manager, pip is for Python. Now I can install stuff. Install Django, which is our framework for the API. So we're going to go into the folder. I have a file with all my requirements. So dir cd Windsurf. Do I not have Windsurf? Oh, I didn't finish the checkout. So we're going to go back to Eclipse. Okay, so we're going to say manual config and the Python interpreter. So we're going to say new. We're going to call this Windsurf. Browse, and try not to be overwhelmed. Once you get this down, this setup, you'll have this memorized and you'll be able to use it forever. Python's pretty popular, so workspace, nope, it's going to be inside of CodeRAM. envs, this is our environment, our virtual environment, Windsurf. Scripts, Python. Okay, Python, there we go. And this is going to import all the Python libraries. And we also need to do, we hit apply, hit OK. Hit OK. And interpreter Windsurf. Private networks allow. Interpreter Windsurf. And now we're going to say create source folder. And we're going to hit next. Finish. Yes. All right. Yes. We're just going to set these silly answers. Okay, cool. It's checking out the whole project, and this is our Python Django project, which is what we're going to use for our API to serve the data into our app. Okay, so inside this project we have a source folder, and there's a settings file. What I want to do is, okay, what I want to do is open up the settings file and show it here. Okay, so there is a password right now. I'm using a database for Windsurf. But if I drop this guy, and believe it or not, if I drop this and I hit save, there's no Postgres database anymore. It should just create. It should just cd Windsurf, dir, cd virtual env. By the way, we need to install our requirements. So cat, this is what the requirements file looks like. These are all of our requirements inside of Python. Like Beautiful Soup is a way to scrape. It's a package that lets you scrape data from the internet. Django is a package that lets you. It's the package that I'm using. Django is a framework for making your website look nice. It's a ORM, an object relational manager or something. And then Django Page CMS is like a way to have a CMS system, content management system inside of Django. So I'm going to install this by saying pip install -r requirements.txt. That's the command you want to write down or memorize to install your requirements file. And double given. Source thumbnail is 11 point. So let's go back into our requirements file. I'm glad we found this error. Source thumbnail is in here twice. So let's remove one of these guys right here. Okay. Aha. So now it's going to install all of our prerequisites. And hopefully we'll be able to run this easily. Django Page CMS. And while we're here, let's just review what the site looks like currently and plan out what we want to do. Windsurf.com is just a site that lists gear, which scrapes all the gear from Craigslist, windsurfing and kite surfing gear. And we want to create an API, a REST API, REST API, which is it's our feed, our data feed. The reason we need the feed is inside of our app, right here, we want to display all of these guys right here, reggae, chill, dubstep. It should be a nice name, the name of the from the site, the name of the equipment, like this guy's SUP travel bag. That's what's going to be, instead of reggae, it's going to say SUP travel bag. And it's going to have the photos in it also. So, and cool. All right, so it looks like all the packages are almost installed. And now, okay, Django REST framework. That's the next package we need. And right now we're working with Python, but even Python, we're still kind of behind on the times. People are using Node, a lot of Node. They build their whole projects with Node. You know, they do a lot. So even though we're using Python here, we're still not like as hot as like some startups and companies who are they're just ahead. They're doing cool things with other technologies. Okay, so that's installed. What I want to do now is install pip install Django REST framework. Okay, and this is our framework for our REST API. It's very popular.
What's REST again? I've heard that before.
It's an API. It's a way to make an API. It's a type of API, a REST API. Doesn't mean anything special. It's just, in fact, it's the only kind of API that people use. It's called like a REST API. So if you could just say API, but that's what it's called technically. So what I want to do is I want to look it up, Django REST framework, and I want to show you here on GitHub how popular this is. It's got 331 people contributing to it. 331 people. That's like a lot of people. And it's been starred a lot of times, but 331 contributors really is a lot of people working on it. So, but to install it, you have to just say pip install Django REST framework, no spaces. Okay. Django REST framework, and of course, while we're installing this, let's see. It supports Python and Django. Oh no. The problem is it only supports Django 1.4.11. So my question is, if we do an upgrade right now of our Django application, if we say pip install Django equals, right now we're using 1.3, let's try to upgrade to 1.4 and see if it will work. Because if that's the case, then we don't have to, if it works right off the bat, then that's a good thing. So
how does pip know where to go to get that?
There's a central website called pypi.org or something. It's just a database of all the packages. Node also has its own database website with all the packages. Okay. So while this is happening, we're going to update our requirements right here. Django equals 1.4.11, and we're going to pray that this thing works. This is just a random test to see what will happen.
And then when you run the setup, is it just going to hop over everything that was already done? Like the Django tagging 03.1?
Well, no, these guys aren't going to be uninstalled. The only one that's uninstalled is Django.
I'm just saying.
Those are required.
Are all still in the config file. Are you going to run the config file? Or are you going to run
just doing it, just that. Yep. Yep.
Which is saved.
Yeah, I keep updating the file because I need this for future reference, and I need to have this updated all the time. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to test this guy out. So we're going to say Python manage.py, Python. We're in the source folder, cd source, which is the source of our app, and there's a Python command, Python manage.py run server. And this will be very interesting to see if it works. Default database. Aha. So it looks like we might actually need default database alias, key error default. Let's do this. Let's look this up and hopefully Django 1.4 upgrade. Django 1.4. Aha. Looks like this has been asked. Thank God. Thank God this is good. So interesting. I think I know what's going on. Oh, I see. Databases, clearing database URLs very included. Okay, so this guy might have an answer. Okay, so let's try this. If length we're going to go back to our settings file. The truth is, maybe we should just keep this and forget what let's try that again. And just update CyclePG2. So we need to install CyclePG2, a Windows binary for CyclePG2, and we can do that on this website. Windows Python binaries. Okay, and we'll search for CyclePG2 Windows Python 2.7. Okay, and while we're running that, we might as well install Postgresql.
You said you bought a new computer. How often do you do it?
No,
Once a week or something?
No, I didn't buy this computer. It's been around. It's an old computer. You see, it's not like anything fancy. But I'm happy that we're doing this because you kind of learn a little bit about if you actually review the video and you want to learn how to build an API in Python, this is how you do it. All these requirements are how you do it, and you're not going to be able to bypass this unless you decide to go with a new. This is like old school technology. Building this API with Python is old school. If you try to do something fancier, hotter, you want to use like Node or some other technology. Look up like what's the best way to build an API. Find out, should I do it in Python? Should I do it in CFM? What is it called? Cold Fusion. Okay. So we have Python installed. Let's run this again. CyclePG2 installed. Image kit's on pill. So we need to install pill. PIL. Actually, pillow is fine. We search for pillow. There it is, pillow. Windows 32, Python 2.7. This might be the last one, hopefully.
Yeah, like that 18-wheeler that turned over was the last one that ever was going to catch me.
Alright, let's see. Finish. Here we go. Python manager.python server. Aha, so check this out. So now locally, if I go to localhost port 8000, check this out. So we have a connection. We have to download CyclePG. We have to download Postgresql. So Postgresql. So let's do that.
Right, that's really freaking interesting. I said screensaver start never.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went off. It keeps going off like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go to screensaver.
Windows, download the installer.